Let's go. Welcome, Desert Ridge High School. I think we're going to be talking today to freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. Today we're going to talk a little bit about you making a commitment to doing whatever it takes for you to graduate on time with your class here at Desert Ridge High School. Your commitment's probably going to look a little bit different based off of what year you are, right? So I'm going to try to address kind of all of that today. My name's Cindy Serrano. I'm your Jostens rep here on campus, and I'm really excited to be here with you today. I am the lady that gets to help you celebrate your high school experience. What does that mean? Okay, well, I'm the lady who will talk to you about ordering all of your graduation stuff your senior year, about ordering your caps and gowns, that ultimate symbol of a graduate, right? Your caps and gowns, your senior graduation announcements, all of that stuff to celebrate that really big milestone in your life. Seniors, if you haven't done that yet, you need to do that. I am the lady who will talk to you as juniors about ordering your class rings and your Letterman jackets, which are also a visible symbol of your commitment to graduate on time with your class here at Desert Ridge, right? Number one thing you put on those? Your graduation year. So I am the lady who gets to help with a lot of that really cool stuff. Today, I get to help with something that I think in a lot of ways is even more important, and that is to help each of you look a little bit inward to who you are and what you need to do to make sure you're walking across the stage with your class. This year is so important. Why do I say it's important? Well, there's a lot of reasons it's important. A lot of this seems very basic, and honestly, I think a lot of the really important stuff in life is the basic stuff. Let's just go over it real quick here. Number one, be on time, right? When you're on time, you don't miss anything. When you're on time, you're not a distraction to others missing things. Listen. Simple step. But when you stop talking and you actually listen, a lot more will sink in of that teaching and learning process here at school, right? Be respectful. I cannot impress upon you how important that is, especially after all of the different situations that have occurred in our world over the last couple years. Do your homework, right? Everyone always tells you do your homework. You know that by now. But you know, your homework isn't just extra work. That's not the goal of homework. Your homework, the goal is to kind of give you the opportunity to test yourself. Do you understand what the material is? And if you don't, ask questions. And guess what? Maybe you're struggling in a particular area. If you've been respectful to your teacher and you've been on time and you've done all the right stuff and you come in with questions, they will be so happy to help you. That's their job. That's why they get up every single day and come to school for you. Make new friends. Sometimes we get stuck in a rut with the same friends we've been with all the time. But when you make new friends, you really expand your horizons and make things so much more fun. Get involved. I cannot even tell you how important this is. Every statistic out there will tell you you will have a much better high school experience. You will probably get better grades, all kinds of stuff if you get involved. And that doesn't matter whether it's sports or clubs, just getting involved propels you forward. Try new things. How do you know if you're going to like it if you don't try, right? Try taking culinary, or maybe try going out for the track team. Be part of things. Prepare every day. Get up, dress up, show up, be ready to be here. Prepare yourself to learn. My personal mantra, especially this year, especially after this pandemic, be kind. Please, I feel like our world is missing that so much. If someone drops something, help them pick it up. If someone's arms are full, open the door for them. just little gestures will go a long way towards really improving our society. I kind of feel like some of us adults are doing it wrong, and you're our hope. And finally, what I think high school is supposed to be all about, and that is dream. Go for it. Don't quit asking questions. You're here to figure out what you like and where you want to go and what's next for you. This is that time in your life to really kind of try to figure that out. What do you want to do? Who do you want to be? It's your turn to do that. That's why I say what you're doing here every single day is so important. Now, you don't know this, but I'm a mom, and as a mom, I have 4 kids, and there are certain things that I think speak to kids. So I'm going to try to talk to you in a way that I think my kids would listen. And we're going to do that with a little bit of an experiment. Okay, not so much of an experiment as really a demonstration. What we're going to do here is we're going to take a simple tape measure. And what I want you to think about with this tape measure is I want you to think of each foot on the tape measure as representing a year of life, okay? And the average American life is anywhere from 74 to 78 years old, give or take, on a lot of different things. A lot of it has to do with your genetics, right? A lot of it has to do with gender. Ladies, we tend to live longer. A lot of it has to do where you live, the occupation that you choose. So many things go into that. But let's talk about this in a way that makes a little bit more sense. So I'm going to ask for some help from some folks here on your campus to fill in crucial spots in this, we'll call it line of life, okay? We're going to use the tape measure to represent the line of life and plug in some key times. So if I can have someone come up and be my baby and pick up the tape measure on that end, doesn't matter. Anyone come on up. Very good. And then if I can also have my old man come on up, then we can get this tape measure up off the floor. So what I want you to see here is we have the beginning of the tape measure, right, as a baby. And then this tape measure is going to go all the way along here. Keep going. There you go. Up to 75 feet. That's okay. You can keep going. That totally works to hold it up. And it's going to kind of go across, and if you can see all the way to the back of the lecture hall, that's our old man. Isn't she a cute old man? 75 feet on the tape measure there. We're going to go with that as an average for the average American life, okay? And now let's fill in some key educational experiences. What does that look like? Well, let's start with kindergarten. Remember kindergarten? It was so fun. You got to finger paint and learn your ABCs and learn to read and play on the playground a lot, I hope. And probably had to take naps, and none of you wanted to do that. Now what you wouldn't give for a good nap after lunch. If I can have someone come up and be my middle schooler. Now middle school is probably about 13-ish, right? So 13, thank you, is right about there. Very good. 13, right? Sound middle school, right? Okay. Middle school was, so I was putting you at kindergarten, huh? No, back up a bit. We're going to put you at 5. 5 is about kindergarten.
Okay.
Kindergarten was fun, right? Okay, but let's plug in middle school now. So let me have someone come on up and be my middle schooler, which middle school would be right about 13. Okay? Your first true experience, kindergarten of school. Your first kind of more independent experience when you were changing classes and kind of learning what you liked or didn't like, right? What subjects you felt like you were good in or not. And then, of course, there's high school. If I can have 4 of you come up, what we're going to do is we're going to plug in freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Come on up. There we go. Very good. Now, as a freshman, you're probably about, what, 14? Does that sound about right? So as a sophomore, you'd be about 15. See the red number there? Junior, about 16. Senior, about 17. Of course, By the end of senior year, most of you all will be 18. But that's about the age of high school, right? Okay, now high school takes a lot of work, but there's a lot of educational opportunities beyond high school. So let's talk about some of them. One of them is what we would call an associate's degree. Now, an associate's degree, you can earn that usually through a couple years of work beyond high school. Very often that is done at the community college level. Why? Because it's a lot less money at the community college, right? So if I could have one of you come on up, and we'll plug you in right here at about, there you go, sneak under, about 20, see my red 20 there? Couple years to get that associate's. Now, side note, in high school you have this really cool opportunity to do what they call take dual credit classes. If you have not done that, look into that. Because you can actually earn high school credit and college credit in the same class. Guess what that means? That shortens up your time to get to this spot, right? Some students actually graduate from high school very close to this spot already. So understand that we're talking about some averages or some medians here. We're not talking about hardcore, okay? And beyond that, let's talk about another degree. Very often students will go from high school to a university and go straight toward their bachelor's degree. If I can have one of you come on up and be my bachelor. All right, this is something that takes usually 4 or maybe 5 years, give or take, depending on how you do it. Remember, once again, those dual credit classes, they transfer over to the university as well. So you would therefore be able to earn some credits toward that and maybe finish your bachelor's a little bit sooner. But let's put you right in. See the 22 there? We'll put you right in at about age 22 to be a graduate from there. There's a couple beyond that. We have a master's and a doctor's degree. So come on up and I'll have one of you be my master's and one of you be my doctor. A master's degree is someone who really specifically studies their field or their interest, okay? So probably most of your English teachers and your math teachers, they probably have a master's degree. That takes anywhere, well, I'd like to give you some averages there, but it depends on a lot of things. Master's degrees, some folks go straight on through and would earn their master's degree a little faster than other folks who maybe work on their degree at the same time. We're gonna call it about 2 years and put you in at 24. A doctor, I know you're all thinking doctor, that's who you go to when you're sick, right? But a doctor is really someone who is an expert in their field of study. So yes, a medical doctor, but there's all kinds of doctors. We're gonna put you in at about 26 years of old, because that does take a lot more study to get there. These are give or take, these are averages. Now I told you that I'm a mom. What is one of the biggest things that young people are always asking for? Money, right? So let's talk about this in terms of money. What I would like to do is show you some statistics based from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Okay, you guys can Google that. But what it is annual income, the median annual income based off of level of education. So let's plug some of these in real quick. Let's say you say, you know what, I have absolutely had it with this school thing. I am tired of going from class to class, bell to bell, being in my seat when the bell rings, doing my homework, yada, yada, yada. I've had it. I am just going to call it a day. I am going to go get a job and work. The median income, where's my freshman and sophomore? I'm gonna have you guys hold on to this right there. The median income you can expect to make would be about $32,000. Now that doesn't seem half bad, right? Like if you got it all in your pocket all at once, but quite honestly, it doesn't work like that. You get a little bit at a time, right? Have you ever checked out how expensive things are? For instance, rent. What's average rent in Arizona right now? I Googled it this morning, a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, average monthly rent is over $1,400 a month. Wow, right? Talk to your folks, ask them what they pay. See if you can figure out some of those things. Look what happens just for staying in school, finishing high school. Look what happens to the median income. My junior and senior, hang on to that for me there. Look at that. An increase of almost $8,000 just for going from bell to bell, right? Just for soaking up all of the knowledge that you can, that your teachers are more than willing to give you here. Look what happens with just a couple more years of education, an associate's degree. About another $8,000 increase, right? My bachelor's degree. Look at that. Pretty good jump there, huh? My master's degree. Not bad, huh? And finally, my doctoral degree. Look at that, almost $100,000 a year. 32 grand, 100 grand. What do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Now, am I telling you that the only thing in life that matters is making a lot of money? No, I'm not. But what I am saying is that it takes a lot of money to live right now, right? What I want you to get from this, I don't want you to say, I'm going to get a doctor and that's what I'm going to make. It doesn't really work like that. These are median numbers, right? So there's going to be some variation to this. But what I do want you to get from this is look at the general trend based off of your level of education. It seems like the trend would be the more education, the more you would make. And why? Because you have more experience, you have more knowledge. And the big piece I want you to get is, look at this. This is about the end of the educational time, right? Look at all of these years. What are these years going to look like for you? These years are filled with where you're going to live, the car you're going to drive, the vacations that you can go on. Very often, it's going to determine the kind of health care that you have. What is your life going to look like when you're at this end stage or this final stage here? A lot of what you're doing right now is going to determine that. The other thing I want you to think about, look at this time in your life, these 4 years. Look at how short that is compared to the rest of these times. If you've been the class clown, I'm going to tell you now, drop that hat. You don't need it anymore. Okay? Now is the time to really take advantage of the opportunities that you have, because what you're doing right here can set you up to go here and here. We talked about dual credits, but also that GPA, right? You know what that is by now. And that's really important. Any of you athletes, the number one thing that coaches from universities do when they start looking at an athlete is saying, what's their GPA? What's their behavior look like on campus? They don't even want to talk to you or watch you on the field. If you can't take care of the books and the behavior in the classroom, they're not interested. What do you want to do? I told you I have 4 kids, right? All 4 of them went to school on academic scholarships. They were all athletes. None of them got athletic scholarships. They all got academic scholarships. So the learning that you're doing right now, the grades that you are earning right now, can make getting here or here or here a lot easier based off of your GPA. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. If you can just take your signs and put them back over here for me and then go ahead and take a seat. You can just put the tape measure down on the ground for right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate your help. So I talked about big numbers, right? Annual incomes. Here's what I want to break this down just a little bit better so that you can see, because to me, with someone who has a contract and knows how a contract year works, I get it. But a lot of times when you haven't necessarily been in the work field much yet, you don't. Look how those incomes break down based off of weekly earnings, the median income and what you would earn weekly, right? Something to think about, something to plan for. This year, I think, is a really important year for you. This year is a year for you to take advantage of and learn and grow. Because before you know it, you're going to be walking across the stage. Seniors, that's really only about 7 or 8 months away. All the work you've done since you were about this big, when you walked out the door to kindergarten, you've been working from kindergarten to get to this place. You're almost there, seniors. Even freshmen, whether you realize it or not, high school goes by so fast. Ask a senior, they'll tell you. Today, we're going to ask for you to make a commitment to graduate. I am going to ask my freshmen, I have 3 freshmen, right? Come on back up. I'm going to ask you to pick up this banner and let's show them. Freshmen, you're going to be asked to sign your commitment, kind of like that contract I was talking about, right? We're going to ask you to sign your name to a banner. This banner is then going to be displayed here on campus. Come on, walk over this way for me, folks. Very good. Look at this beautiful banner for the class of 2025. All right, we're going to ask you to sign your name to this as a contractual commitment to do whatever it takes to walk across the stage with your class. Thank you, if you'll go that way. And my sophomores, can we do the same thing? We are inducting a new tradition on your campus, a tradition of education on your campus, a tradition of getting it done. Bring that on up. Come on over, sophomores. Let's show off that beautiful banner for the class of 2024. Very good. Excellent. And if you'll go over that way, my juniors, come grab your banner, juniors. We're going to ask that when you sign your banner, please sign your first and last name. Don't sign your name this big. There's lots of you. We got to get on these banners, okay? Don't sign your name this big because we want you to be able to see it. Take a peek at that beautiful class of 2023. It's not going to be long and you're going to be seniors. Thank you, and come on over here. And finally, my seniors, come on up. Let's show off that beautiful banner, the class of 2022. In fact, we only have a couple months left in 2021, and then it's all about the 22. Come on up, look at that. All right, so you are going to be asked to sign your banners. Please make sure that you get by and do that. Now, I asked our seniors if they would help me a little bit today with this presentation. I asked them if they would kind of share a little advice, okay? High school goes really fast. Before you know it, you're going to be a senior. And so I have asked your seniors to say, hey, would you answer a question for the rest of the school? And the question is, if you could, with your vast knowledge as being a senior now, if you could go back to your earlier high school years, so maybe junior year, maybe sophomore year, maybe freshman year altogether, if you could go back with the knowledge that you have now, what might you do a little bit differently?
My name's Sophie McDaniel, and with what I know now, if I could do my high school differently, I would just say to try as many new things and get as involved as I can, because I know everyone says it, but like it really does go fast, and before you know it, you will be a senior. And there are things I wish I would have done, and I wouldn't want any of you to look back and wish you would have done that. So just do as much as you can, and don't let the little things of like high school drama like affect your years. Like none of that matters. None of it matters years from now. None of it will matter. Just get as involved, do as much as you can so when you are a senior, you have no regrets.
I'm Meg Massow, and knowing what I know now as a senior, what I would have done differently was I would, kind of what Sophie was saying, go to stuff, get involved, be spirited. You don't want to just act cool and do what you think is cool. You should go to things, go to games, go to dances, because something like the quarantine might happen again, and you'll lose 2 years like we did, and it kind of sucks, but I'm glad we're able to do stuff, and just don't take things for granted.
All right, and my name's Hillary Garcia, and my advice would be very similar to what Meg said, is don't take things for granted. There's a lot of positives from high school, and I think you just have to search those out most of the time. And once you do, you can see that there's a lot to be grateful for. There's dances, there's spirit weeks, just being in class with your friends. You can't take it for granted, and you have to enjoy every moment like it could be your last, and that's my advice.
Very good. Thank you very much, seniors. I appreciate that. Desert Ridge High School, take advantage of the time that you have here. It is meant to be a beautiful time in your life. Please be kind to each other. We really need you. And with that, I'm going to say congratulations. Make your commitment to graduate on time with your class.